Yo, what up? This your boy, Uncle Luke, and you're tuned to BallerAlert.
What's going on? I'm Cliff Hill. You are tuned into BallerAlert. We are here with the Miami legend, the Freaknik King himself, Mr. Uncle Luke. How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. What about yourself?
Listen, man, feeling good. It's so good to have you here. I want to first start by giving you your flowers, man. If anybody's from Miami, they know what you've done, for the community. The way the music scene, that Miami sound, we all know, man, you're the king of that. What you've done with sports and the Optimist here. Listen, I was a teacher before, so I know what it's like to give back to those kids. I just want to make sure that we give you your flowers, man.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Now, listen, I want to kind of get to know you a little bit. Like I said, I'm from Miami. We got Overtown, Liberty City, Opelika, Miami Gardens. We know what it's like to really be from Miami. The people who are not from, they come, they see the beaches. They see Wynwood, they think that's what Miami is. What was it like for you growing up in Miami? Not Uncle Luke, but Luther Campbell growing up in
Miami. I was a kid born and raised Liberty City. Getting bused to come to Miami Beach, to play football and sports and baseball and all that. Going to Fisher and Beach Senior High. Okay. That was the start of it all, coming over here, but then actually being told you got to be off the beach at 6 o'clock. Right. Other than that, you go to jail because blacks was not allowed on the beach after 6 o'clock. But, in the city, born and raised Liberty City, it's a lifestyle. We're like really on that, you know what I'm saying? We don't see no other part of the state of Florida or the country. We're different type of people. We love each other. We support each other. Right. And we get a lot of hate, because of who we are. But it's a beautiful thing being from Liberty City.
Yeah, man. They say Miami is its own place, man. We disconnected from everything else, man.
Yeah.
Come across that bridge is something completely different.
Yeah, people don't realize, man. People, just like you say, people come here thinking it's all about Miami Beach. I think LeBron, my good friend, did us bad when he was like, yeah, I'm taking my talent to South Beach. And so everybody think it's all about South Beach. Yeah, no, I'm coming to Miami. Miami is where it's at. South Beach is not what we're all about or who we are.
Yeah, man, it's real life in these streets, man. Now, what did the music come in?
The music, when you think of Miami, the average person think Miami is country, is southern and all that, but we're really a melting pot. You got Haitians, Dominicans, Jamaicans, which I'm half Jamaican, half Bahamian. Right. You got Cubans, you got Puerto Ricans. So it's a Caribbean island when you really get down here because you got so many cultures from the Caribbeans. And so with Caribbean music, whatever island you came from, the beats are all up tempo, and that Jamaican part of me, added in the bass, so we added heavy bass, plus the style of what we were all about with the bass bends, the DJing and all that, because I was like one of the top DJs around here, with ghetto style DJs, you have all them speakers, so we want bass, right? More than highs or anything else, and so that kind of created the sound for us because we didn't want to be like nobody else. Okay. You feel me? We didn't want to be like nobody else. We wanted to create our own sound, which we did, and we, create our own look. We're surrounded by beaches, islands. People, we don't have no problem going to the beach, putting on bikinis. So why not put that on the album cover? And why not put that in videos? You see me in It's Your Birthday in the videos and the jet skis. That's us. Yeah. That's our lifestyle. We don't know A-Train.
The dancing also, I feel like if you're from Miami and you know how the dance groups was down here, they say you make booty shaking music. You gonna ride out. You may be drilling.
You said it right.
That's all we know down here.
That's all we know.
Your music is what infused that.
Yeah, that's all, and that's you're right. And I'm glad you say booty shaking music.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. Not twerking. I know Drake put in the song twerking. It is not twerking. It's booty shaking music. Right. And just imagine how long booty shaking music has been going on. How long booty shaking been going on? They try to change the name, and that's why I'm glad we did this documentary. Freaknik, the documentary. We Too Short said it. Too Short said, it ain't called twerking. It's called booty shaking. Right. And all that was invented here. No different than hip hop in the South. I mean, when you look back and you look at you check the history, and everybody will tell you it started right here in Miami. It wasn't no Atlanta, it wasn't no Texas, it wasn't nowhere else. Hip hop was started right here in the South, and we motivated everybody to want to get into the game. I mean, hell, I was trying to sign Master P when he had Ice Cream Man.
Okay.
Shit. So I mean, at the end of the day, all them guys know. And I'm glad that we're now able to tell these stories. So put two and two together, because they want to tell our stories.
Right, like we are.
Yeah, like we are.
Now I have to ask you this: I went down your catalog. I mean, even from when you was with Two Live Crew, like, what's your number one? What's your favorite Uncle Luke song that you ever made? If you got to pick one.
Man, that's a good question. People ask me that all the time, and I just can't do it to the next record. I mean, you feel me? It's like, man, if I say we want some pussy, then I'm gonna be mad because face down the ass up. Then I'll be mad. I think Me So Horny was a classic. Scarred. Created Trick Daddy's. That was his first song he ever did in his career, and I mean, shit. I mean,
and that's a classic right there.
That's a classic.
That's a classic.
I did that song. I was mad as hell. I was going through Chapter 11 and everything. Two Live Crew had left me, and was like, they wanted to go fuck with somebody else, and I was like, oh really? Oh, it's about y'all? No, okay, I'll show you better than I can tell you. And so then I went and got two new dudes, Trick and then Verb, and then put them on the record.
And look at those guys' careers, man.
I mean,
amazing.
Out of control. Out of control. I love it. And that's what a lot of people don't know. They don't know the stories. They don't know that. They don't know that Khaled started with me. I got him off of Underground Radio.
Wow, okay.
They don't know that. Trick Daddy started with me. As soon as he got out of prison, he stayed with me. And I knew he was a great cook back then, because he stayed in the damn kitchen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know Pitt was with me. I found Pitt.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they don't know all them stories.
Man, you are literally a Miami legend.
Yeah, man, and shit. And I mean, that's what we do. I mean, H-Town, Two Live Crew, you name it. I mean, Jiggy, Anquet, I mean, all these big records. So they don't want to tell those stories, but we're going to get to tell them, because, I'm doing all these different films right now on my life stories. And they're gonna get to see it.
I was saying your life has been so amazing. Like, you really need your own movie. But man, I mean, your music goes so bad. I remember being a jit, and my mom let me listen to it. I mean, that's all we played at our parties and everything.
That's how you got here, because she listened to the music.
You know what? I believe that.
I
believe that.
Shit, you got it. Hey, your daddy came in the room and said, "Hey, we want some." and she just sitting there. He put on face down. Okay, all right, now you can. They made you.
Listen,
credit me for you being here.
Absolutely, all the way. Miami legend, man. Being that I was so little listen to that music, I want to ask you, would you let your kids or your grandkids listen to your music and watch your videos?
Let me tell you, my kids, it's funny that they don't even talk to me about music. Okay. They don't even ask me about music.
Okay, so you just ask them.
But I know they ask somewhere in the back. You know what I'm saying? I got smart kids. They in the back. They know what's happening, but they don't even. I have never had a kid that just even say, "Hey, Dad, what you was thinking about when you made this song right here? Let's have a sit down, session." I've never had that. I mean, even to the 14-year-old, my son Blake right now. I mean, I asked him, "Hey, you want to go to the concert with me? You can come on stage." "No, I'm okay. I'm playing games with my homeboys." Now, they don't. It seems like they don't want no parts of it, but at the end of the day, you never know. I know they know.
So, the music probably in them is in you. So.
Oh yeah, they know, because they have their peers and their friends like, your daddy is this guy here.
Before we get into Freaknik, I want to talk a little bit about your football program, out of school program, Liberty City Optimist Club. What made you want to start that?
Man, my first check, because I was bused to come over here on Miami Beach to play football, to play organized football as a kid. In elementary, I went to Archerville. Then they did some tests and saw that, we were athletic, and certain ones of us ended up getting bused over here playing organized football and baseball. And so I really, when I really, got older and thought about it, it wasn't a great educational experience for all of us, because we were being used to come play football. And so we would get home 12 o'clock at night after the bus, drop everybody off, and I said, I ain't want no other kids that had to go through that. So I started Liberty City Optimist. I got with my man Sam Johnson. He had the baseball team, and then I wanted to do football, and so basically I started it. I took all the money, took money out of my pocket, like my second check out of the music industry, and say, look, man, I want to start this because I don't want all the kids to have to get on a bus to go to Miami Beach and then be used to play football and then get home 11 o'clock at night. That's not about education. That was my experience, and it really wasn't about me being educated. It really wasn't, it was just passing us along because we played football, and so I said, look, kids shouldn't have to go through that. Kids should be able to play right in their neighborhood. So at my local park where I came from, in my neighborhood, Charles Hadley Park, that's when I started the program, and we made it more about education than sports. We knew the sports was going to attract it, but at the end of the day, the education was first. So, one of the first kids, when I went out there, one day, because it was a dirt field, hey, man, y'all want me to start a football program? It was Chad Johnson and another kid named Edie Bo, and the park manager right now, a dude named Fish, and they was out there playing Sandlot. It was like, yeah, we'll play. And then I started the program. From that point on. And
even Chad's career, man.
Amazing. Amazing, man. Him, Levante Davis, Duke Johnson, Devontae Freeman, the list go on, superstar NFL players, and, Commissioner Keon Hardeman.
Absolutely.
So many influential people came out of that program, and that's what we pride ourselves on.
I love that, man. It's like you did it pretty early in your career.
It was a second check.
Wow.
That was on my bucket list. It was buy my mama house, start this youth program, and then buy my own house.
Most guys do that stuff kind of later on in their career, but you did it early.
Yeah, no, and then I'm glad I did it because I was able to inspire other people. Like Snoop Dogg would always call me up, how you doing this football thing? How you started this? And so other people from other communities, when they saw it, they were like, yo, man, we want to, do the same thing. And so, that's what we do. We're the first at everything.
Yeah.
It's because, we just be creative at what we want to do. And it's all about helping people, helping everybody. And that's what we try to do.
Absolutely. Now, was there a transitional period? Because you also ran for mayor.
Yeah.
Now, was there a transitional period? Was that two different Lukes from 94, lit Freaknik King Uncle Luke to cleaned up, polished, running for mayor, Uncle Luke? Or no, I the same person.
It was the same person. I don't never change for nobody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And probably next month I'm gonna announce that I'm gonna run for another office. I ain't gonna say it yet, but that's gonna be out of control. But the thing is, I've always been in politics. I had to be in politics to go through the controversy and deal with the controversy surrounding, one album being deemed obscene by a federal judge, and then that was politics, and then, going to the Supreme Court, winning, free speech against Roy Orbison, that case, which allows people to use intellectual property right now on the internet, and then going to jail for actually singing the songs that was deemed obscene. And so all that was politically motivated, and getting sued by George Lucas. You don't have to pay him $500,000. So all that stuff was politically motivated, so I had to be deep into politics. But I learned how to be in politics from my uncle and my dad. If you know Jamaicans and Bahamians, they are deep into politics. And so when I was a kid, when people read my book, they see the story of me going in there, and when I spent the weekend, they would not let me look at cartoons.
Okay.
With my uncle. It would not.
What
it was like,
watching?
You got to look at, you got to know how to read the newspaper. You're going to read the news, and you're going to get into this Black history, H. Rap Brown, Malcolm X, and all, Martin and everything. So you're going to know who you are. And so I was taught that. So when they came after me, it was the perfect storm to come fucking with me.
So what's those issues with, what you were saying in your music? They just couldn't handle the realness, the vulgarness?
No, it was really, like I say, politically motivated, because at the same time, you got to remember, you had, every comedian cussing on the record.
Yeah.
That was, major labels had them. You had Andrew Dice Clay, You know, I forget what major label he was on. I mean, he was saying worse things than we ever could say. You know, we was an independent record company from Miami, the first hip hop label in the South. And so we were not affiliated with nobody. We couldn't get a deal even if we tried, because there was no such thing. There was no such thing as signing an artist outside of New York or California.
Okay.
And so when you go back through and trace the history of it all, it was the record companies, one, who was going against us because we were taking sales from their artists.
Got you.
So then now, if you
that
look,
was independent.
Exactly, because we were independent. So if you got this new Run DMC album that you put out, and that new Run DMC album, you look at Miami, X amount of sales here, X amount of sales out of the state of Florida, X amount of sales out of Georgia, and, you know, so we were taking them sales away.
Gotcha.
We were taking them hip hop sales. So they then, you know, conspire with the government. That's why you see, they then say, okay, you got to shut this motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? Because he's messing up the sales. And then politicians like Nick Navarro and all them people, they then jumped on the same bandwagon. The governor of Florida, the vice president of the United States, Tipper Gore, which is Al Gore's wife, who was a senator at the time. That's why his ass lost the presidency, because he lost right here in Florida. You know, all those people were coming out. That was all politically motivated, and I just.
And good thing you was well educated, knew what was going on, knew how to handle yourself.
Yeah. I mean, when you tap into your Black history, you'll know all this shit go in circles. They use the same game plan against us.
How would you compare the music industry then to now?
The music
industry. Do you think guys need to be as educated as you to make sure they keep themselves together, so that things don't happen to them like it happened to you?
You got to be educated. I mean, it's you got to know the game. You know, I tell young people all the time, know your history know the history, number one, and then the second part of it, you know, understand publishing masters, all that. You know, understand, you know, how the game actually works, because you can sign something and get just totally robbed. You could be a part of or affiliated with some people and take advantage of you. And when you wake up, then you realize that, you know, okay, shit, I was successful and now I'm not successful. How do I get back up? That's why I love the story. I love the Pitbull and Trick Daddy story. When I got them, Pitbull was on the streets. He was a tough guy with braids and all that. And just imagine that. And when I put his first record out, it didn't jump like all the other records. Mm-hmm. And he was worried about, you know, hey man, do I go back out in these streets? No, just stay the course. You will learn when you climb up the hill, you know, versus just being placed up there. So, because in the music industry, your ass is gonna drop. You know, in any parts of entertainment, you're gonna drop, but then now you need to know how to get back up. You know, if I just place you up there, you drop, then you never go back up. That's why you see a lot of artists having southpaw jinx. You know, damn, he was hot. You know, but then his second joint wasn't hot, and the third one he know how to grind. So them dudes know how to grind. That's why you see them so successful now and have longevity. And they sat there and they watched. And I took them with me like they were, you know, young, like they was my kids. And like, look, learn this shit. You know, sit there, be a fly, ear hustle. Yeah. Be a fly on the wall. And so, you know, when you look at them, they're successful like that.
Love that, man. Now let's talk Freaknik, man.
Freaknik.
Listen, I watched it. It was amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I text my mom before I watched it. I said, anything you want to tell me now before I watch this, man. I'm looking for my aunties and everything. I'm like, y'all better tell me now, man. It was so amazing. The fashion, the car culture, the college culture. I was like, this is so dope. What I really loved about it the most was that I'm only 30 years old, so of course I was not around, not a part of none of it. All I saw was videos and pictures, but I thought it was just a big party in the street. But you guys gave us a story, man. You guys also gave us some other people's stories within it who I didn't even know was a part of it during that time. So I really was engulfed in it, man. I was into it the whole time. Now, I want to talk about, you guys said a lot about the word freedom and free. You guys were free or liberated. What does that word free means to the phenomenon of Freaknik? Free
means, I mean, it's everything that I'm about. And so, you know, how that came about, I had a movie deal with Lionsgate. Okay. And I looked at the script, and we kept going back and forth with scripts. And so all these stories were not in the script. Liberty City Optimist wasn't in there. Freaknik wasn't in there. Pitbull discovering him, Trick Daddy, his story. All these different stories went in. It was like focused more on 2 Live Crew and censorship battle and all that. I'm like, man, I got too many. University of Miami wasn't in there. So I'm like, I do this biopic. That's how they're gonna define me and everything else. So what I did was I don't want to do this. I'm gonna just cut up all my stories in my life
Smart.
and say we're gonna do Freaknik. So then I got with this company, Swirl Films, out of Atlanta, and said, man, I got major stories. I want to do a bunch of projects. And so we just sitting around the table, and the girl, Nikki, said, who I love to death, say, what about Freaknik? You just so synonymous of Freaknik. What about that? And then her brother was sitting there, Jay, yeah, what you think, Luke? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that. That's another part of my life story. You see what I'm saying? And it all comes from liberation and freedom, the fights that I've always fought through all of my stories that people will get to see real soon with all of my other projects. And so we went and we said, look, we want to do this. We want to do this. And, obviously, I'm executive producer, and I said, look, I want to be able to have some people involved in it. I want 21 Savage involved in it because he does Freaknik parties. Mm-hmm. He invites me and had me be the host,
Mm-hmm.
So young guy, with young people who are dressing up like that, living that moment of history. I appreciate him for doing that. So let me make him an executive producer. JD from Atlanta, let me make him an executive producer because, on his label he had the soundtrack, the bass all-star soundtrack that you hear in the doc. Yeah. And that's how that thing all came together. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, we talk about freedom and being free and being liberated. I mean, women were liberated more then than they are right now. Right. When you really think about it, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With where we came from today, where they were taking so many rights away from women, so we wanted to push that in the doc, and then we wanted to tell a story, because the average person thought I created Freaknik. And so I'm so humble enough to be like, yo, no, this is gonna be the story really because we're gonna really tell how this thing was started. Yeah. With these HBCU students that couldn't afford to go to Miami Beach, couldn't afford to go to Dustin, Panama City. They started their little spring break thing, and it got bigger and bigger, and then the big freak of them all, me, came down there and just turned it into a real freak picnic.
Yeah. So I think one of the other things that I noticed watching it with the word free was like you guys are able to wild out and nobody would know.
You were
nothing
free.
Was documented though.
Yeah.
There was no social media. There was no nothing. I think the times are so different now.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you to have lived through that time and then to be in the world we are now?
Man, let me tell you. I learn every time, I mean, obviously I'm going through all the edits and everything and the building of the project. Mm-hmm. But then when you build a project and you look at it and you be like, damn, and then you got takeaways. So one of my biggest takeaways is, just like you say, there was no social media, but there were guys with the cameras.
Yeah.
And so that's why we showed that, and we made sure that was a part of it. That was your social media.
Yeah, I couldn't go in there and stay with you though.
That was your
wherever you get
exactly.
That's right there.
It's right there. So guys take their camera, like they take the regular camera, video, go back to their city or their dorm, and then show it to their group of friends. Mm-hmm. And what do? Like it.
Yep.
So it was damn near the creation of social media.
True, man.
When you really think about it.
It wasn't so quick.
It wasn't so quick. It wasn't right now. But you did take that footage somewhere, and you gathered a room of people and say, you got to see this shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to see what I just been a part of, and then that's how it grew. Yeah. Because those guys sitting in the room who did not see it, guys and girls, and they saw this liberated, this party, people having fun, at the park, people, the clubs, the cars, you would get one car, go to another car, and there was no crime.
That was so dope because that don't happen today. Nobody get in the car with a stranger today.
No, man.
But that's how
did
free
that shit.
that liberated y'all was back then.
We were free.
Kill to be a part of it.
Our people dancing in the streets, and we wanted to show that. We wanted to show that. So, I mean, for so many reasons, I'm telling you, man, God worked so amazing. you know, through everything that we all do. And when you look at that project, look when we dropped it. We dropped it on the 21st of March. And what the fuck is still going on to this day? South Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Same
South
thing.
Beach got shut down.
The same story of that being shut down, same playbook, same blueprint.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing that came out, because I've been fighting that fight for 100 years. So then, you know, that's why it was so easy, because, you know, these stories like that of African-American liberation and these young people trying to enjoy this, I know them stories. I've been to every one of these events, every one of these college breaks, and I watch every one of them get shut down by government. That's why you see it in this documentary.
I think it's so important for the younger people like myself, even younger, to see that. We go through some of the same things. I think another thing that was important for us to see, like, the amount of stories you guys told, especially like when it comes to like black music and hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, I know Outkast, right?
Yeah.
I never would have known the connection between Outkast and Freaknik until I watched it.
Yeah.
I know Jermaine Dupri, I know all his hits, but I never would have known, what he did. You guys still had,
it was
in that Escape. You guys named some people, man. I'm like, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Jermaine, when we got him to be a part of it, that was a great thing, man. The first thing he said, man, but I ain't go to Freaknik. I was young. I wasn't able to go. And we're like, no, but we need you to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? You played a major role in it later on down, because you got to think, Freaknik went like damn near 10 years.
Yeah,
it was going for a long time. So even if you were 8, you became 18, or if you was 10, you then, okay, if you're in this business, eventually you work your way into it. And so, and that's why you see all them dudes. You see them looking like skinny little dudes
young,
with their shirt off and all that. Oh, shit. We got that footage, and thank God people were sending all that stuff in. And it's amazing, because this project right here, when you really think about it, there's no other project that shows anything about the hip hop in the South. Nobody else has ever did anything. History of Compton, Long Beach, everybody else. Those have been well documented, which rightfully so. They should have documented them, the New York and everything and all that. This is the beginning of it all, because Freaknik was the beginning. You know what I'm saying? We were the only one doing it. Like I said, I started this hip hop in the South, and I'm the only one with a record label. And I'm running around through Atlanta, running around through Memphis, and people looking at me crazy. But then they caught the vibe. You feel me? And everybody then say, "Yo, we want to be like them down there. If they could do it, we can do it." And so when you really look at even the Atlanta music scene, and you say, "Why so many people from everywhere else live there?" They came to Freaknik.
Okay.
And they never left. That's why you see the story Too Short in there. He never left. He came back. He was like, fuck this. I'm going back. This is the black Mecca of the world. You felt like you was in Wakanda or somewhere.
I want you to look around and see so many black people. Look good, too.
Professionals, educated young people, people doing business. You don't see that nowhere else. You see it, in Detroit, and you see it, in D.C. and places like that, maybe a couple other cities, but when you're young and you go, that's what you want. Yeah. And so that's why most people went to Atlanta, never came back. And that's why I love this piece so much, because it documents the rich history of Southern hip hop. You then now got to go to Atlanta. If you wanna blow up, you got to go to Freaknik. You got to get your tape out to all them cars and gridlock. You got to put your flyers out. You got to hope that you can get on stage and perform, or go to a bar. And you broke out. You became a hit artist from Freaknik.
All right, being that you are from Miami, we had that specific Miami sound. You found a way to still infiltrate like the market outside of just Miami, like the Atlanta market, to come and actually do that at Freaknik. How did you even get connected to that world?
Well, the thing is, I signed the first Atlanta artist to the first national record deal, which was MC Shy-D. So you got to think, there was no Atlanta. There was no Atlanta music scene at the time when we started up, Luke Records. So we were we were the godfather of the South. So when we rolled up in Atlanta, everybody wanted to be on Luke Records. When we rolled up in New Orleans, everybody wanted to be on Luke Records. When we rolled up anywhere, you know, and so because they saw what we were doing, which was so successful, you know, and we signed up people from everywhere else. You know, we signed up Bust Down from New Orleans. You know, we signed up Shadi and DJ Toomp, who produced all the great hit records for T.I. and Mike Fresh. You know, all them guys, they got their start through me, which people don't really realize.
They didn't know that.
Nobody don't tell the story. So those guys went on from us to then produce great artists from Atlanta. And so the thing is, you know, it was because they respected me so well, being the pioneer of it all, and because they looked up to me, and they were inspired, and that's why they basically started their career, because they were like, okay, shit, if they doing it, we could do it, you know. And I would go up in Atlanta, man. I stayed so much, hung out there so much, and you know, you wouldn't. It was no such thing as Atlanta music. I was there when they were only playing New York music on the radio.
Wow. Okay.
You know, it was that bad. Even in the mix, there was no music. So we used to go to this little place called Sharon Showcase, and Sharon, lady, that's where you heard my songs. That's where you heard the songs that you hear in this documentary, the Kizzy Rocks.
Is it still like happening today? Is it still open today?
I don't think Sharon got the place anymore. But that is the beginning of Atlanta hip hop at Sharon Showcase. And then, you know, John, you know, who's A&R and he was A&R at So Def, you know, and Jermaine, thank God he gave John the opportunity to go out and start his own thing, you know, and produce some songs. And then John went, and that's when he did one of the songs on there, the My Boo song. So, you know, so all that came about. John did his version of bass, which is R&B bass. You feel me? And so, you know, you already had, you know, Kilo and Kizzy Rock and all them boys. You know, they were just waiting, you know, because they hadn't caught the vibe. And you know, I just love it because it tells the story of Southern hip hop. It tells the story of Atlanta, and now you kind of get a good idea as to why Atlanta right now surpassed us, which I'm still upset about that because we started this shit. But then they supported it. Yeah, you know, they supported their people. Their radio stations supported, unlike we do down here. The whole
two different worlds.
It's two different worlds. So they supported their young people, them inspiring people, and they switched over. You know, they switched over like, oh, well, we ain't just playing New York hip hop. We're supporting, you know, the artists that are from Atlanta. You feel me? And then that's why you got the Goody Mobs. That's why you got the Outcasts and all these different people of the world, the Ushers and all that. You know, and so that was a great thing that they did, you know, versus what we did.
For sure. Now, I feel like, you know, when I watch it, the documentary, I feel like Freaknik was split up in 3 stages from what I got from it, right? It was that beginning one that was like real clean, real college. So just somewhere for the kids to spring break. The kids go for spring break, right? Greek friendly. Then it was the Freaknik, right? That's when you was kind of adding to it. Then, of course, it was like towards the end, it kind of changed a little bit. But watching it, during that time when you got into it, the Freaknik, it seemed like everything was so happy. You guys are outside. There was no cops. There was no shooting. And the documentary showed there was nothing bad happening.
Right.
Or y'all didn't have no haters. But whenever there's some positivity, there's some haters. Was there any haters who was like disappointed in what y'all was doing? Even though the times were good, you guys still have some people who opposed during that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I say, it's the same thing in Miami Beach. You start off great. I mean, that party, like I say, when I didn't know, you know, I did not know that there were, you know, a group of people that, you know, from the AU Center, college students that was having it. I didn't know the story of that until later on down the line. And that's why I wanted to produce this documentary so people can really understand the story and they can use it as an educational piece. You know, you're going to have haters with anything you do. And so when I came there, like I say, you know, we're at the height of our career. You know, we're just, you know, we're the bad guys of hip hop. You know, the wild and crazy, freaky guys, and I'm the king of it all. And I heard Freaknik, so I only heard Freak not understanding the background of it, like it was a Chic song, and then there was a dance with Chic, you know, called The Freak.
Right.
You know, the name of the song was The Freak, and it was Chic and all that, and they just named it Freak, and then they wanted to have a picnic. But me, I ain't heard that part. Shit, I ain't know nothing about that. Hold on, they got some freaking going on in Atlanta. Well, goddamn it, that's where I got to be there. So I mean, it became, yo, I'm coming there. Shoot, let me claim this. You not claim it, but let me go there and be a part of this. You feel me? And then, you know, I get there and I'm like, okay, let's go, Freaknik. And we go into the clubs and we got the parties going on, because it wasn't no, you know, even like right now, it's like people saying, it's just a matter of my agent or manager picking up the phone. Luke want to come to Atlanta and perform. You know what I'm saying? Our 2 Live crew. Yeah, let's go. Let's have them. So we got all these clubs, booked all these clubs, and we just having wild and freaky parties in there. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, with what's going on, and we taking our fan base there and it's being promoted. So now people are coming from all over the country, you know, and coming on to Atlanta, and then it just became more liberated, because every year we went, you know, now I'm doing music videos. And so you see the music videos, you're like, oh shit, that's a hell of a party that we want to be a part of, you know, and then next year get bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, and again, you just like you say, you're going to have haters, and most of them comes from the government.
Because what I saw is once the politics and the race and the money became a thing, and it shifted y'all. It shifted what you guys already had going on.
Yeah.
It made you guys go opposite, a different direction.
Yeah.
And I think all that played a part in. So if I ask you this question, Freaknik ended because, how would you finish the sentence?
Freaknik ended because the government of Atlanta turned to bitches for the Olympics. You know, and that's what happened. Same, no different than the government of Miami Beach turning to bitches, because it wasn't about. It wasn't about. I mean, it wasn't about anything you could program. And this is what I tell people at any of these destinations where they have beaches and people supposed to go to the freaking beach because they're in hotels. That's what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And you disenfranchise a group of people. If you have programming, people organized programming, like Freaknik was organized at the beginning. Then later on it became more organized because we did concerts at the St. Piedmont Park. We put up stages, you know, and then now government gets involved, turned to a police state. So then you see the gridlock in the documentary on the highway. That was all designed by the police.
I think that's when more confusion. That's when more bad things started to happen.
Yeah, and that's the way of our government. You know, we got to make it a crime-ridden situation, and then you have the bad people come involved. So if there's no programming, and if your party is in the middle of the street, and you've created this gridlock, no different than South Beach, you open up all the bars and you put people in a maze and leave them right there, what you think getting ready to happen? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have some bad people, you know, who are not college students come, you know, and then you're going to have the drinking, and then you're going to have people getting looser and looser, and then you create a situation where you got a chaotic situation. So you, the government, could justify shutting it down. You know, if you have program, look at Essence Music Festival. How long that's been lasting?
Wow.
Programming. It's programmed. You know, at the end of the day, everybody going to end up at the Superdome for concerts.
Yep.
Every night. 80, 100,000 people are going to be in there. So you move 100,000 people at the American Airlines Arena or the Phillips Arena, you do things like that, then now you don't have the gridlock. If you can host Super Bowls and Olympics and things like that, that's because you got programming.
Absolutely.
But if you don't want something, you don't program it. No different than, you know, the black community. How they gentrify is they allow the crime to take over. Good people like me and you, we sell our mom house and we get the fuck out of there because this is too dangerous for us.
Yep.
And before you know it, Julio Raimundo go buy the house and now it's gentrified.
Absolutely.
Because it was a crime-ridden neighborhood. Now it's okay. Now the policing and everything is being taken care of. The parks, you know, the convenience stores. You be like, shit, I used to live there.
Yeah, you come back like completely different.
Yeah,
that's
and
like Wynwood.
Bro, that's their game
That's not the only
plan.
town we knew.
That's their game.
Up,
exactly. That's the game plan. That's the game plan with Miami Beach. That's the game plan with Freaknik, and that's how they were able to shut it down. You know, and unfortunately, they've been using that on us forever.
I think what's so amazing is that they can never take away the history of it.
They can't, and that's
They
why
never
we
take away the history of it.
That's why we documented it, and that's why, like I said, I'm so happy it came out around this time because you see young, what college student really? Let's be honest, what college student who come from a good family or a family that's proud of their kid going to college, and now he's going to go on a spring break destination where he's going to want to be shooting up the place and going to jail. That college students don't operate like that, But if you allow the assholes to come into any situation because you don't have programming, then that's what ends up turning these events out. But college students, those are
They just want to have fun, man.
They want to have fun. They're
educated. Get a break from the books.
Exactly. They just want to be loot. They want to have. They ain't trying to go up. There ain't no college student coming with no gun to shoot up no party and do all that wild. No, man. And so that's why I be really upset about those things. But that's why we did this doc, so people can see that. You see the real story of how it went when it was great and when it changed and when it was a big festival and how many people were spotted and how many people got their career started through it.
Yeah.
And it can happen. It can still happen.
Which was definitely my favorite part, man. Getting to see who career kind of started.
Yeah. You connected the dots.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you realize Drake did not create twerking either.
I already knew that, man.
Hey, you see the booty shorts and all that on there. Oh, that shit was going on way back then. But it's beautiful, man. I'm telling you, see black culture. That was the beginning of it all, man. Of people being liberated. Black folks really wasn't having fun like that. That was the beginning of where we at right now today. Now those same kids who was on top of the car, booty shaking, they kids doing it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They kids doing it right and enjoying
generation
it.
After generation, man.
Exactly.
Now let's talk before I let you go. Let's talk new music real quick. Anybody from Miami was probably excited to see you in the studio with Young Miami. I feel like you kind of started that. Then our Trick and Trinas came. I feel like the City Girls for my generation kind of brought back like that vulgar talk and say whatever they want. Yeah. So I feel like it was cool to see y'all in the studio. What you guys working on? Man, listen, we did a song together. I mean, that thing is freaking incredible. Okay.
I mean, it's hard to get me in the studio. I mean, I go in the studio, make songs on my own, and I never put them out. But then to do collaborations, people always call up. 99.1% of the time, they'll take a sample of my voice and use that. But to just go in there and get me in there on some new shit, it has to be special. And this was special because I love what the City Girls are doing. You know what I'm saying? I love Young Miami. I mean, her baby daddy played for me, and Optimus, right? He passed away and everything, Ja, and so I have a different type of love for her. So if she called me up, anything her son need, and anything she need, if she called me up, I'm there on the dime because of him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, no matter what people go through and what they're doing in life, I mean, certain people I fuck with. I don't care nothing about all the bullshit be surrounding everybody. I fuck with them as. And so when she called me up, it was for me, it was an honor that she called up and said, I want to do this song, and and we put it together. I mean, she put it together, her and her team of producers, shot it to me. I loved it.
Okay.
I vibe off beats.
Okay.
And then her lyrics, what she was delivering on there, I was like, oh hell yeah, this
gotta get on this.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah, and I'm
Can
dying.
we know like a month or how soon for it?
I don't know. It's up to her. You gotta ask her.
Okay.
I mean, it's her song, her album. But I just know it. I know, because I know that God gave me that gift. The no hits, and I know this gonna be this
one. It's one.
Yeah. This one. This shit feel real good. And because of how everything is moving right now, it's perfect. It's perfect. I think it's gonna be the summer anthem. If she put it out during that time, this shit gonna be it's incredible. Every now and then I let people hear what we did a little bit. They added some more. I added some more stuff to it.
Okay.
But shit, the way it was that they sent it and the stuff that we added on, that shit It's gonna be a club. It's some Miami shit.
Okay.
Put it that way. You know, and that's what
we need, man.
Yeah, she was saying she wanted to do some Miami shit.
Take us back to that first album was so Miami.
Right. Yeah, she wanted. Yeah, so I'm excited for everybody who been dying. You know, I get a lot of people on my social media. Man, do another song, do another album.
I was going to ask you if Uncle Luke was to make some music today, what would that sound like? What would you be talking about? Would it be similar to the old school music, or would you be in a completely different vibe today? What would that sound like?
Shit. I mean, it would obviously be party music.
Okay.
You know, I wouldn't do anything dated. I mean, if you listen to the music when I kind of started moving away from the 2 Live Crew, it became bigger mixes. You know, 2 Live Crew was like 8-track mixes and things like that. So I started adding more music to it, you know, more strings and shit like that. And so it would be something similar to what you have right now, but I always move the needle to give you something like, oh shit. Okay. You know, like you ain't hearing the same thing. You feel me? And that's what this song do for me right here. This song is to me, it would be, if I was to do some music, it'd be in the same vein as what she gave me, okay. what me and her did, because that right there is on some new Miami bass shit, you know, without it being dated. Okay. You know, you can't do no dated. That's like right now. You know, and I think a lot of people I know a lot of people gonna love it.
Listen, man, we can't wait. My very last question, man. We're talking about how amazing your career has been. If you can give 94 Uncle Luke, tell him one thing right now, what would it be? 94
Uncle Luke, if I could tell him something, a bit of advice. Shit. Oh man, let me be nice. Because shit, 94 Uncle Luke was out of control. You saw the video I did with the girls in the pool in the bathtub. I did that at Freaknik. I think that was bouncing the beat. Yeah, that was at Freaknik. And so, oh my God, I don't know. That's good. I would probably say, don't use any white lawyers or white accountants.
Okay. Make sure they
just
black.
Use all black people.
Okay. Make sure your people always got you.
Your people always got you.
Okay.
I think about it. Yeah, 94 Luke. Hey, look here.
Does that advice still go now?
Still
today?
Go. Still. I mean, right now, you have it more under control. Right back then, it was a lot of white people taking advantage of black artists. You know, and they were trying to, I'm a smart dude, but they were navigating the way around it. Today, because of the music, you have white folks, Jewish guys, white Hispanic guys. They grew up through the culture. They grew up with us. You know what I'm saying? So a large part of them, they respect the culture versus back then. Back then, it was a lot of motherfuckers just trying to take advantage of people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? These artists, and they really didn't care about them. Now you have a lot different. But majority of my team is brothers and sisters because I'm always motivating. You know, I do have opportunity. I do have some white folks. That's a part of my team, which do an excellent job of what they do and how they do it. You know, and so I have a wide variety of, I got like a new United Nation type group of people, which I love them all. I mean, they all funny. You know, I rough them up every now and then, you know, but we have fun doing what we're doing.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for being here with us today, talking to us. I just want to give you flowers again on an amazing job with the documentary, man.
Hey, man, appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.